All right, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, it's good to be here today. It's good to be able to speak to you guys and not feel like I'm about to heave because of phlegm that still wants to, mess with my vocal cords and everything. I'm good. Don't worry. I'm fine. But let's go ahead and get the formalities out of the way, shall we? Yo, peoples! I do not have chat up in the window. That is my fault. Hold on, let me fix that so you guys can see yourselves in the video. Pop out chat here. I had to learn how to make it so that my chat could appear in the side of my video, so it's something that I had to learn quickly, but also to make me seem also for me to become more professional. And boom, there you go. And you guys filled up chat very quickly. Good to see you, Michael Mauger. Good to see you, Lucky. Good to see you. Who else is in here? Is that Midoriya Shonen? That's Midoriya! Let's go! So, let's go ahead and recount the events that happened in the last chapter. Number 1, Midoriya has arrived, and he proceeds to punch through Tomura's defenses, and he sees all of his friends, and then he almost goes berserk. Like, his whole body just erupts with all of his quirks that's in him because of One for All, and he starts to lose it. But Lemillion comes in and lets him know that, hey, everyone's alive. We're good. We need you to keep your head on straight. And then Midoriya calms down, and then he looks at All for One, because he knows it's All for One's consciousness that's inside of Tomura's body that's controlling everything, and he goes, is Tomura in there? Now, mind you, we also got a little bit of a snippet of the bombers that were with Star and Stripes earlier on. They stuck around. Instead, they were supposed to be the ones who were protecting the UA fortress and flying around it and, like I said, protecting and monitoring it. But they decide to put all their hopes on Midoriya, and they use their planes to get Midoriya closer to the fortress quickly. Let's go ahead and get started with this chapter. Let me not keep you in suspense any longer. Who is this? There's a wait. Hold up. Okay, so we got a cover page. We got a color cover page, and chapter 368, and we got a girl here who is in the buff and with the keep out strips kind of covering her up a little bit. Is this Hagakure? Because she has the same gloves that Hagakure uses. Is this our first time seeing Hagakure in her human form? Because this is on the color cover page for the front of chapter 368. Is this Hagakure? Is this how she actually looks when she's not invisible? Because the gloves are the same. It's the same gloves it's the same light cyan looking gloves with the red bands around it. Is this her human form? Interesting. I know we've seen her silhouette when it was alluding to that maybe she was the spy, but it turned out to be Aoyama. But interesting that we're seeing Hagakure in the buff in her regular state. Not her human form, but in her regular, tangible state. But chapter 368, rev up, One for All. And it shows Midoriya, after calming down, he has Black Whip wrapped around his face, kind of akin to Aizawa a little bit. And then it begins with Midoriya saying, is Shigaraki still in there? And then Mirio is curious, as All for One, who's controlling Tomura's body, goes, really? That's your question? Tomura Shigaraki, you mean? No one by that name exists. Not anymore. As it shows, Tomura has engulfed his body in more hands and fingers, because it used to be just his upper body that had like big hands that were covering his body to be defense, and his arm has enlarged with the heads of his former family members. But now it appears that his legs have been kind of shrouded in fingers to protect those as well. So he's kind of bulked himself up by just covering himself with tons of fingers. The two have achieved a perfect melding, but perhaps it's because All for One has been alive longer that he's the one in charge. And it shows a panel of the face of Tomura being slowly engulfed by the consciousness of All for One. Also, if you guys want to see what I'm reading, either go to the official Viz Shonen Jump site to see what I'm seeing, or go to the website of your choice, but as I always say, support the official release. But it shows that All for One has his hands on Tomura's head, which is white now, which means that that visage of Tomura is further down the line of when All for One found him, at least in a mental kind of state. But he has his hands on Tomura, and you see Tomura's eyes through his fingers. And then he continues, I don't know what you're scheming, but... I gotta get this cough out, because I want to do this voice properly for you. That's how I cough to get it. That's how I cough professionally. I don't know what you're scheming, but you won't get your ideal pie in the sky ending here. And then Midoriya just stares back at him. And then Lemillion stands right next to Midoriya as he goes, hang on, I'm not so sure about all that. When I made a rude accusation a while ago, it was like he was suddenly possessed by someone else. He suddenly started raging and freaking out. Like a child. Nothing about that suggests that they've achieved a perfect melding. See? Lemillion can tell. He can tell that the whole meshing of All for One's mind and Tomura's mind is not 100%. It's not definitive. He knows. Lemillion's smart. He noticed. It's as if the harder we fought back, the more unstable he got. And that actually causes... that actually causes All for One to glare at Lemillion because he realizes he's right. And then Midoriya continues to look on, and then we get the visage of Nana Shimura. We get the visage of Nana Shimura behind Midoriya, and Nana is looking at the hand of Tomura, and one of these hands has the head of Tomura's dad, Nana Shimura's son, and he looks up at Nana. And then Nana thinks he's still in there. And then it shows Tomura crouching down in his big, muscly finger form. And he launches at Midoriya. And mind you, since Tomura's body is still superhuman and he doesn't have access to his quirks, he only has access to the superhuman aspects of his body. But the force of this jump is so forceful, it actually causes, like, the force and momentum of him launching pushes the entire fortress downwards in the air a little bit. That's how forceful his jump is, causing everyone who's in the bottom half of it to, get tossed around, except for Hatsume, who's just casually tinkering away. And then... Tomura, and then, well, not Tomura, but All for One inside Tomura. I'm just gonna refer him to All for One from now on because this is All for One in control. All for One screams, "Enough idle chit chat! I'll be taking back One for All now." I'm sorry, but One for All was never yours. I'll be taking back One for All now. And then it shows him slamming full force into the ground, and it just causes a monumentally huge explosion that breaks the plates that, Momo and everyone else has been constantly resupplying in order to make sure that Shigaraki is not able to destroy them. He's destroys several plates from the pure force of the blow, and it just causes a massive, massive shockwave to happen. And then it cuts to All for One as he looks at Midoriya as Midoriya glares back at him and says, "Know this, All for One. I won't let you have your ideal ending either." And then it shows that Black Whip has wrapped around the arm of All for One, but it has a different appearance. It has like a beaded Magatama type appearance. Like it's beaded. Like it's like a chain, not like a daisy chain. It's like linked together. It's not just like one big whip around. It's linked together. Family's calling. Give me a sec. Okay. Family's bringing me food. I'll be done before then. But it shows that Midoriya has wrapped Black Whip around All For One's arm. And then it explains that there's energy coming off of it. As he explains, I stored up the third's Fajin energy within the fifth's Black Whip for a boosted binding combo. Oh, he's combining quirks. He's combining quirks. He's not just using each quirk independent of one another. This dude knows how to combine them. Oh! So if Black Whip was able to restrain people before, he's mixed Fajin in it to boost its binding power. Yo, this dude is combining quirks just like All For One did during his last fight with All Might. I'm sorry. I stored up the third's Fajin energy within the fifth Black Whip for a boosted binding combo. And it shows him wrapping it around All For One's arm and then pulling him. And proceeds to throw All For One a good distance away and slam him into numerous plates with Black Chain. Black Chain. It's a chain. I knew it was a chain. And then it shows All For One landing on another plate as he screams out, enhanced or not, the same attack won't work twice. And he stops as Black Whip dissipates. And then he's surprised to see Midoriya with energy shooting out of his eyes. Now, mind you, his eyes are pure white as they are when he looks like he's in his berserk state, but he's not. And then we finally get the second user. No. Are we finally about to learn the second user's quirk? Are we finally about to learn? Let's go! Midoriya is on another plate in midair, and then we see the second user. We see the second user behind Midoriya as he goes, you've done once, you're done once you use this. Take him down within 5 minutes or else the world loses this war. This is a, what? You're done once you use this? He can only use it once? Is this like a one-way trip type power? Not saying that something's gonna happen to Midoriya, but is this something that is so massively draining that he can only use it once? And second user just says, take him down within 5 minutes or else the world loses this war. And then Midoriya says, I'm ready to settle this. And then Midoriya says, the second's transmission. And then it has Midoriya putting his hand like this. And then it shows... And then, wait, what just happened? What just happened? It shows Shigaraki standing on a platform in midair, and then all of a sudden, it shows him getting lifted into the air. And it shows that Midoriya is right there punching him. All For One is like standing there. And then all of a sudden, in the next panel, it shows his body upwards in the air because Midoriya is punching him. The dude moves so fast, it's almost like he teleported directly in front of All For One. And we see Midoriya hitting him. And then it goes from second gear, third gear, top gear. Wow! Wow! And it shows that Midoriya punches All For One so hard he goes flying. The same way that All Might punched Nomu way back at the beginning of the series, and he sent the Nomu flying into the air, all the way into the sky, and made him part clouds. Midoriya just did the exact same thing. Midoriya just went plus ultra. And the plates that they're standing on completely hit the ground, and the air just explodes. And then Lemillion is watching as he goes, the sounds are delayed? Midoriya just punched All For One so hard he moved faster than sound. The sound didn't happen until after the fact. Not from the point of impact, after the point of impact. This reminds me of Chairman Naruro from Hunter x Hunter, where he increases strength to the point where he's able to punch faster than sound. Midoriya just punched faster than sound. And he hit All For One so hard that All For One is immediately coughing up blood. That defensive form meant absolutely nothing. It meant nothing. And then All For One is thinking, what's he doing to me? Where'd he go? And because Midoriya is not there anymore. This is nothing like that glowing energy from before. He's far too fast. Almost as if... And then it cuts back to the second user as he's thinking, no, it's a different beast than what it... Oh, no, it's a different beast than what it was back in my day. No, this is the second user going, no, it's a different beast than what it was back in my day. All For One. The meta ability that changes a target's speed when touched. Gear shift, overdrive. And then it... Yo. Midoriya's speed, he's even faster than when he was using Fajin. The man is moving faster than sound now. Gear shift overdrive. And it shows Midoriya moving at this faster than sound speed, already preparing to punch All For One, and he's above him. As Izuku Midoriya would put it, this is 120 out of 100%. Brother, let today be the day that we end this. Detroit Smash! And then Midoriya, with all of his might and all of his power, as the visage of the first user of One For All, as Yoichi, looks down at the face of All For One. Now, mind you, this is the face of All For One, not the face of Shigaraki, not the face of Tomura. This is the face of All For One looking up at his brother. Brother, let today be the day that we end this. And Midoriya lands a full-power Detroit Smash on All For One. And that's the end of the chapter. Woo! But here's the thing, though. The second user just said that you're done once you use this. So Midoriya basically just pushed his body to its absolute limit to land this punch on Tomura. Yo! This is so good. This is so good. Good to see you, Cdes. The black look clean? Well, thank you. Thank you. I've been told that it looks good. Yo, Psycho, just brought a Jujutsu Kaisen book just now, volume 17. Oh, nice, nice. Your boy is upset. He's holding it together barely, but he's upset. Am I going to read the Demon Slayer spinoff Water and Flame? I don't know. I'll have to see. I have to see if I got time for it. Watching that egotistical maniac getting thrown off guard by Deku is so satisfying. Yes. Yes. It is so satisfying. We've all been waiting for this moment. We've all been waiting for this moment where Midoriya lands that big decisive blow. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look up the synopsis for chapter 368 and just get it in greater detail. What we just witnessed. We finally have the second user's quirk. We know what it is. So, the summary is, Tomura attempts to try and wrestle the chain off, which is when he used Black Chain, not intending to fall for the same move again, only to be surprised when Deku undoes it himself. Concentrating to himself, the second user tells him to make it quick, because once he starts using his quirk, they need to finish him off in 5 minutes or the world is doomed. Deku activates the second's quirk, transmission, where in the blink of an eye, Deku appears under Tomura, punching him with second gear, third gear, and finally top gear, sending him flying upwards. Lemillion is shocked to see the sound is delayed, while Tomura is completely caught off guard by the attack, realizing the attack and speed is different from the glow he was using before. Thanks to the quirk's ability to let the user shift change the target speed when touched, Deku enables Gear Shift Overdrive, turning his 100% power into 120%. Yoichi declares to his brother that today is the day they finally end things, as Deku unleashes a full-powered Detroit Smash directly into Tomura's stomach. So big notes from this. Tomura claims that the original Tomura is no more now that he and All For One have merged into a new being with All For One mainly in control. However, Lemillion reveals Tomura's unstableness, realizing they aren't truly fully merged and that he is still in there. Nana sees the visage of her son Kotaro on Tomura's body, also coming to this conclusion. Tomura tries to attack Deku, but he deflects it using his ultimate move, Black Chain, combining Black Chain, Black Whip, and Faji. The quirk of the second user is revealed to be transmission, allowing the user to shift the speed of anything they touch. Yo, Deku has inertia robbing powers now. He can rob people of their speed. He can change the speed of people when he touches them. Which means that if you think you're moving at a fast speed, if Deku touches you and uses transmission, you could just give it up. Yo! Here, a lot of people were hoping that it was going to be a laser, and some people were hoping that it was going to be some sort of healing type quirk. But this is a quirk that makes it so that he's able to not only shift the speed of anything they touch, but not just what Deku touches, but also shift the speed of himself. So using transmission, he can increase his own speed while at the same time be able to change the speed of someone else. That's broken. The man was already fast. This man now has a quirk that makes him even faster. Okay, so Midoriya is greatly broken right now, and in this chapter we see him actually combining his quirks together. But man. And the thing is, Fajin is a quirk that enables him to use his own momentum to build up and increase his speed in a moment's notice. He now has a second speed-based quirk! He has a second speed-based quirk. Fajin made him comparable to All Might's speed. Fajin made him comparable to All Might in terms of speed. We saw this during his battle with Lady Nagant and him moving faster than a sniper rifle bullet. This man now has a new quirk, now has a quirk from the second that enables him to go even faster than that. Faster than sound. I'm sorry, I'm just hyping over this. It's just that Midoriya is now fundamentally broken. The quirk of the second user is revealed to be transmission, allowing the user to shift the speed of anything they touch. Deku uses this ability to greatly enhance his speed, boosting his power to 120%, overwhelming Tomura. Lord Jesus. The man is broken now. So now the question is, and we're not going on break after this. We're not going on break after this chapter is over. We're getting another one next week, which makes me wonder, is this the big definitive blow? I mean, mind you, you have the visage of Yoichi popping in and Nana Shimura saying like, let's end this. Let's end this once and for all, brother. And it just makes me, let today be the day that we end this. So it's making me wonder if this is truly the end. So let me go to the second user. Transmission. Do we have transmission? Transmission, the quirk wielded by the second user. This quirk allows the user to alter the speed of anything they touch, allowing them to accelerate the force of a target, either by enhancing the impact force of their own strikes or causing the target to lose control of their own velocity. Wow, that's a lot more in-depth than I was expecting. I thought it was just him being able to rob the speed or increase his own speed, but no, he can alter the speed. And that includes alter the impact force of his own attacks. Deku could use One for All, Fajin, and Transmission altogether, and what does that give you? Karma's right. You get basically the Flash. You get the Flash's infinite mass punch. Wow. Okay, so let's go through all of the quirks that Midoriya now has. He has the ability to float and levitate. He has the ability to create a smoke screen. He has Black Whip from Daigoro Banjo. He has Danger Sense. He has Fajin, and now he's revealed to have the second user's quirk that allows him to alter the speed of basically anything he touches. Horikoshi. What a first chapter to get in October, huh? Man. Because let's go through all these quirks and their capabilities. So float, obviously, lets him levitate. Smoke screen lets him generate thick clouds of smoke from his body, which can obscure people's vision. Black Whip allows him to produce tendrils of dark energy, which are useful for long-range grappling and increasing the user's mobility. Danger Sense, which allows him to detect nearby threats. Fajin, which is a kinetic quirk, allows the user to build up and store kinetic energy as they move. This energy can then be released as an explosive burst of speed and power. And then with Transmission, it allows them to accelerate the force of a target, alter the speed of anything they touch, either by enhancing the impact force of their own strikes or by causing the target to lose control of their own velocity. The man already has the insurmountable power of One for All in his punches. Now, his speed increases even further with Transmission. Now, we don't know the drawbacks of Transmission, though, because the second user says, like, once you use this, you're done. Got to get this done in 5 minutes or the world is doomed. So does it have, like, a time limit as to how long he can use Transmission? Because that's what comes to mind. I mean, even if it does have a drawback of only allowing him to use it for 5 minutes, it's still massively broken. Because his speed beforehand enabled him to one-shot Muscular, who's an individual who can cover himself in pure muscle and enhance his own durability. His speed right now, before Transmission, enabled him to one-shot Muscular. And not only that, fast enough to catch up to not only surpass the speed of Lady Nagant's bullet from her rifle quirk, but now he's able to move even faster than sound. The force of impact of him hitting Tomura was delayed. 5 minutes in anime time is way too much anyway, so Deku good. Oh, I know. I think next chapter they're changing to another fight. They have to, Lucky. We just got the biggest punch of the entire war. The biggest punch of the entire war. So I feel it would make sense if Horikoshi actually changes to everyone else now. I feel it would make sense. I feel like it would make sense if he changes to someone else. Because we still got some other loose ends to tie up. We have the original All for One, as his body slowly rewinding as he tries to make his way to Tomura, as Endeavor and the rest of the heroes try to keep him back. We have Toya, who's conscious again, copying Shoto's phosphorus and setting fire to literally everything around him. We got Spinner, as he's leading a whole horde of heteromorphic quirk users in a big, massive rampage through the streets. We got Fat Gum and Aoyama versus that one dude from Tartarus. And we got Uraraka and Sue versus Himiko Toga. We still have those things to cover, but I'm looking forward to it. Let me not keep you here any longer than I already have, but Lord Jesus, this was a good chapter. It got me out of my seat multiple times. I enjoyed it. The way he says it, I wonder if there's some sort of consequence 5 minutes after it's activated, something that gives him a disadvantage like a rebound or something. What came to my mind is akin to when Ichigo used his final Getsuka Tensho, and then all of a sudden he lost his Soul Reaper powers. That comes to mind. Now, I'm not saying that he won't be able to use One for All. He won't be able to use One for All, but I'm saying that with him saying, like, once you use this, you're done. And the words done are actually emboldened in this sentence. Yes, he says, you're done once you use this. Take him down within 5 minutes or else the world loses this war. So I'm feeling like there's a massive drawback to using transmission. It must have something to do with stamina. It has to, because he's pushing his body beyond the 100% limit. He's pushing his body beyond that limit. So I feel like transmission is akin to making your engine run past the red zone in order to get that extra bit of speed, but running it too long causes, problems with your transmission. I mean, think about it. Or the power could be too much after that time limit. Possibly. Given the fact that One for All, over the course of it being passed along to different quirk users, it caused that power to get exponentially more powerful than it was originally, I'd imagine the drawbacks for using transmission may be greater than it was with the second user. I'm just assuming here. We don't know the pure specifics on transmission, but we'll find out once these 5 minutes are up, if they are, in fact, detrimental to the body of Midoriya after using it. So hopefully this was the big final blow to Tomura, but we're just going to have to see. Is every villain still standing? That's crazy. There's still fights going on. I mean, All for One's body has rewound back to his prime, but due to it being a one-way trip, he's trying to get to Tomura in order to free him, so that his plans can come to fruition before his whole body rewinds out of existence. That's what's happening to the original All for One's body right now. Then we have Himiko Toga, who's going up against Uraraka and Asui, and I feel like we haven't seen anything concerning that whole deal for about a couple of months now. I'd say maybe 3 months. It's been a while. I can't remember the last chapter we actually saw Uraraka and Sue. Then we have Aoyama with Fat Gum. And like all the people that I mentioned before, all the major villains that they were fighting against, well, I wouldn't say they're still standing. It's just that Toya was the one who got defeated first. He was the one who was defeated first. Then after him, it was seemingly All for One when Endeavor used Prominence Burn point blank on All for One and put All for One in a state where his body was charbroiled down to the end, and he had to use that regenerative rewind serum that Garuki gave him in order to come back to his full prime. But as far as Aoyama and Fat Gum and Uraraka, Sue, and Himiko Toga, nothing has happened between them. Like, they confronted each other, but no actual fighting has started. It's been months, and nothing has happened between them at all. So I hope that we actually cut to them so we can sever those loose ends so we can focus on bringing this war to a close. But we still got a ways to go. In my opinion, it's just the beginning of the fight so we can get some tension with that 5-minute timer, but maybe that's relevant. That'll be relevant in a different way. All I know, Midoriya, is that I'm looking forward to what Horikoshi is about to show us next. We just seen Midoriya use 120% of his power with transmission in combination with all of his other quirks, showcasing power that is comparable to All Might during his fight with Nomu. And then there's Spinner fight, which has started even less than the other fights. There's so many loose ends to tie up with My Hero. We just need to be patient and wait for it to come to an end. But I kind of do agree with you here, Midoriya. For this fight to just be over after a Detroit Smash, as much as I would like for it to be, I mean, we're just going to have to see if it is, in fact, the definitive blow that brings Tomura down. We're just going to have to see. So it's probably going to go to that one next. We'll have to see. There's still so many loose ends. I feel like we spent so much time trying to tie up loose ends in this war concerning everyone else but the two main people. As almost as long as no, I think One Piece's Wano arc kind of went longer when it came to tying up loose ends. But for this one, I kind of hope that Horikoshi kind of starts to tie it up. Not saying that he should rush and anything, but there's still other matters to attend to, so I hope he touches on that. But overall, I enjoyed this chapter. This was a good chapter. Don't know about you guys, but I enjoyed it. We finally got the reveal of the second user's quirk. And he basically just made Midoriya way more overpowered than he already was, in combination with all the rest of his quirks. So now the dude is just a high-speed powerhouse. He can move, he can fly now, but now he can fly faster than the speed of sound if he wanted to. All of his quirks make it so that he can get from one place to the other even better than All Might did. Because All Might got around by jumping, but it made it seem like he was flying. Midoriya can actually fly, and the dude is so broken. I need a My Hero Academia game. I need it. But I'm done. Let me not keep you here any longer, because I got to move on to Jujutsu Kaisen. Overall, fantastic chapter. That's all I got. Hope you guys enjoyed. So all I can say at the end of the day is, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed what you saw here today, then like, subscribe, and maybe even consider becoming a member, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples. This was such a good chapter. Oh my goodness, this was such a good chapter. I'm so happy.